Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the Matt Kim Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kim, joined by my co-host, Mr. Peter Saddington.
What's up, guys? Smash the like button. Glad you're here.
And I feel like we just say that so haphazardly, but the reality is, smash the fucking like button.
Do it with prejudice.
Leave a comment, because the only way we can grow is if people interact and engage with the content. Meaning you have hit the pause button, call your friend, be like, hey, there's these two Asian guys on the internets that we watch and we listen to, and they're sometimes interesting, sometimes smart, sometimes funny. A lot of times they're talking out of their ass, but it's worth checking it out. Go call them. Do you know what? FaceTime them.
Dude, it's like that.
And then come back and get into the episode.
Sounds good to me, guys. Matthew has chosen violence today, so we're going to roll with that. But yeah, absolutely smash the like button. Matt is too humble usually to ask, but do it. Do the right thing. Smash it, share it, let people know. We're two guys just asking good questions.
Welcome to Season 6, Episode 4. It has been an interesting season. We have a lot of new people. People have been enjoying the eschatology talks because we've been putting those clips up. People have been loving that.
I know.
Which is interesting.
Really interesting about how many people kind of see the patterns of the end times.
Yes.
Yes.
And I say that smiling because it's not a good thing.
Actually, if I can interject, I got a DM from a guy who said, Peter, I really liked your eschatology and end times. And what woke me up was the fact that you and Matt both said that leaders are making religious and faith decisions because that's their undergirding worldview. And he was like, that needs to be said and communicated more. And I think that's something that we're bringing to light here, is that people don't make just decisions in a vacuum.
Yes.
They're pulling from some model, something, some worldview, some guide stone. They could be Jesus, could be Muhammad, could be Buddha, could be a lampshade. But they're pulling from some worldview, mental model that helps them make the decisions they do. And I think it's important to understand that goes deeper than we think. It's more than skin deep.
Today, I want to get into maybe a little bit of what's going on in Korea. I want to get into possibly a little bit of cryptocurrency and digital money. I want to go into maybe other topics as well. But first, I want to say, I told you so.
Haktua.
Hawk told you so.
I knew where this was going.
Hawk told you so.
Hawk told you so, guys.
Because last year, when Hawk Tua was trending all over the news, and everyone said, oh, she's so awesome. She's like the conservative, like she's changing the world and she's going to win back Pride Month.
Wrong. Wrong. Yep. I got snookered. I was like, oh my. For me, it was a breath of fresh air from all of the just the craziness we were dealing with at the time. So it was like, could this be the gilded, shining star that could just keep our minds away from the slime and the smut for a little bit? Turns out she's part of the system.
Because as they always do, they take something that was maybe started as an innocent moment. And they use it to humiliate us. They have paraded her around like she's the next big thing. They put a lot of money into her.
Tons of money.
She was the number 3 podcast in the country.
They're not talking about anything of substance.
It is just mindless banter of nothingness. She started a meme coin, the Hawk coin.
Yep.
And just rug pulled her entire audience.
Yep. You got it. I think at the height it was at like 500 million or something like that. And then,
so stupid.
And I saw these sad, just like such sad comments of like, man, I mortgaged my house. I'm such a big fan of the Hawk Tua, and I asked my grandfather if he would be willing to put in, and we took out a mortgage. We put everything in our life savings. I just can't ask my dad to get a third job. It's like, bro, you did all of that for a Hawk Tua coin?
Is there even okay? Hold on.
Oh, dude, we're getting serious, guys. It's serious time.
We are Hawk Tua time.
Oh my gosh.
And this is my Hawk Tua look. The question is, Was there ever any utility promised in that token? Like,
No.
what? It was just a meme coin.
It is just a celebrity icon coin. Yeah.
Why would you invest in that? Okay. I heard that the majority of investors were first-time crypto investors.
Yes.
So, like the crypto bros and the guys who understand crypto, such as yourself, are not investing in the Hawk coin.
Welcome to the show, motherfucker.
First-time investors.
Welcome
their
to the
first
show.
time, dude, get into Bitcoin. Maybe dabble in some Ethereum. Maybe play with some Solana. And then, once you learn the landscape, maybe you can start playing with some meme coins.
But at the same, fair enough. You've given us a very simple framework for how to engage in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, Matt. But I'll tell you, I got caught up in the meme coins and the ICOs back in 2016. I lost my ass on a couple of terrible ideas, and it's just it's the nature of the new world of digital currencies and memes. Is so I don't feel bad because I think almost anyone who's serious into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency ends up going through this. I ended up, I did it too. I got scammed. I lost stuff on a pump and dump. And it's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that ever again. But the problem is that Haktua girl is such a, unfortunately, a household name that for her to scam these truly, not even green bean, but these individuals who know nothing about the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, she did not advance the Bitcoin model. Let's just put it that way. She made a lot of people hate the world of crypto.
She did a Twitter Spaces with the developers.
Yeah, and then CoffeeZilla came in.
CoffeeZilla came in.
He called her a scammer to her face.
Yeah, he did. And I was like, and she doesn't know what's going on.
No, she doesn't know anything.
She has no understanding or no basis of cryptocurrency at all.
Literally lent her name to the project.
And I think her shares are staked for 10 years. So she's not even making money.
I think she made like 150 grand up front or something like that.
It is wild. Do not invest in shitcoins unless you understand that the premise of shitcoins is literally speculative gambling.
You're so nice about it. Speculative gambling?
It's gambling.
It is speculative gambling. It's your words you use shock me for some reason. Speculative gambling is such a nice way of saying it. It's degeneracy.
Yes.
It's degeneracy at its greatest core. You only invest in a meme coin for the hopes that you sell at the top. That's it. You're doing it for the money.
Of course.
I mean,
most things in life are for the money.
Yeah, but this is like the hop, skip, and a jump to money, the quick rich type of thing. I mean, it's created we've had entire seasons of the ICO booms and scam coins and meme coins, and then we went through the NFT season. Did you buy a monkey, an ape? No. Some of those people who bought those apes for millions of dollars,
$100,000 JPEG.
It's on an Amazon S3 server, by the way. Or a Google server. Trust me, it's not decentralized. You bought a JPEG for millions of dollars, and now they're worth like $10,000. I mean, so we've been through these seasons. So this new Haktua season, this new season of these 12-year-olds scamming and ripping off people that we were talking about earlier, it's just another season. Same shit, different day, my friends. Welcome to the show.
But the thing about cryptocurrency right now is that in all these different cycles over the last 12 years, there's kind of this ramp up. People get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes first, and then Ethereum follows, and then kind of the altcoin season starts, and then you get into all
people
these
start
things.
dabbling. They start getting curious. It's like, oh, there's these other ways to make money too.
This time around, it's almost like Bitcoin just shot up, and everyone just skipped all the previous steps, and they're going straight into the shitcoins.
Yes, because you no longer need education.
Correct.
Previously, you need to know a little bit about like tokenomics and like, okay, I'm getting into this thing. The functions, features of wallets weren't there, so you kind of had to do a little bit of stuff. Now the UI, the user experience, and the usability of these systems are so easy for you to just connect your Stripe account or PayPal and buy some shit tokens. As easy as buying something on Amazon now. So that's the problem. They've made it so easy to convert your money into ephemeral assets.
Because of previous cycles, the beginning is always about building out infrastructure. building out the platforms, working on all these processes in which you can do all these kind of gamification of cryptocurrency. But now that all the infrastructure is built, I mean, it's not going anywhere anymore.
No.
Now it's straight into degeneracy.
Yeah, straight degeneracy.
I don't know where do you think this goes in, say, 6 months to a year? Because right now it's so degenerate that, money is a zero-sum game. Someone wins, someone loses. Sure.
I would relatively agree with you, other than the fact that we have a government that literally prints money out of thin air. But okay.
Well, when the government prints money out of thin air, then the people lose money.
Yeah. Oh, fair. Or purchasing power goes down. Yes.
Correct.
Exactly.
So if people make all this money on this degenerate cryptocurrency, someone has to lose somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to lose?
All the retail noob cake investors who know nothing about this and just thought that Hawk2 was a cool thing, and all she did was ask me to transfer $500 of my PayPal into this thing called the Hawk token. And I was looking at this chart that they showed me, and the chart showed a green candle, which means that my $500 turned into like $5,000. And I felt really good about it for about 19 minutes before it went down, and then I lost everything. But it was a fun ride, though.
Do not park your money in meme coins thinking that they're going to go up forever, because they don't.
It's the same pattern.
Meme coins are for people that want to day trade. It's fun.
Yeah. There's
quick
a market
action.
for that. It's quick action. That's
quick
a good way of
action.
saying it.
Do not park your money there don't buy a shit coin and go, in a month they said it's going to be worth 1,000x. I'm just going to leave it here. Don't do that.
Never going to happen.
Not financial advice.
Because we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't know what we're talking about. But I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that either.
No, it's dangerous territory. It is not regulated. And the people that understand how it works are so far ahead of where retail is at this point that it is not a fair game.
So here's I want to get back to your original premise, though, because we have now, I think we've fully seen the full life cycle of how the system takes individuals like the Hawk2 girl and completely, just like you said, this innocent thing happened. It went viral. The system gets a hold of her. They put massive backing, support, money. She went all these podcasts. Then they commoditized her into podcasts, into money, into speaking, showing up at clubs, making $100,000 for showing up at a club. But now we've reached full circle. She has been fully bled for all of her value from the machine. And all we have left now are these scam coins, meme coins. And I think this is the end of the cycle. She's hit full cycle. She made a meme coin. Guess where she's going now?
OnlyFans.
Bro took it out of my mouth. The man knows. OnlyFans is the last thing. And then after that, she goes into the dumpster and you'll never hear from her ever again.
Yep. The real question is, who's up next?
I mean,
They did that to that Bobby girl.
Yeah, they spit her out real hard.
They cycled around one full cycle.
She got a divorce in that cycle. She ruined her family for fame.
Yep. She went through and out. No one talks about her ever again.
What about that Anthony guy, the redheaded
Oliver Anthony?
Oliver Anthony
Disappeared.
Yeah, he's like off the map too.
Off the map. Hawk2 off the map.
Yep.
Who's next? We'll find out probably in the next few weeks, because you need someone to keep the population entertained.
There are even more that have fallen off the map, and these are in worlds that you and I don't often traverse, like the Kai Cenat guys and the...
Dude, did that guy crush it or what?
But let me finish my point.
Holy shit.
There is a world of live streamers, like the Kai guy, like Johnny Somali, right? Like... that we only hear bits and pieces from, the Fresh and Fit podcast guys. They live in a world that's very much away from us.
Yes.
Right? And that world is huge, Matt. Like, they go through these, like we're talking about Hawk2 girl, but in that world, that cycle time of all of that, getting them in, getting them viral, getting them monetized, spitting them out. In that world, the cycle's so fast. Like, you could be a star in 9 months, and then in 5 more months, you're gone.
Dude, that guy, Kai Cenat,
yeah,
he did a 30-day live stream, and he got to, 700-something thousand paid subscribers?
Yep.
At like $5 a month? That is crazy.
Yeah, he crushed 100 million or something like that.
That's wild.
He's a person who turned on a camera.
Hmm.
And that's it.
Well, he's entertaining.
Well, he's entertaining, fair enough.
He's entertaining.
But think about the base of what he's doing. He's just turning on a camera. That's the world we live in now.
I think that model there, I mean, the Gen Z and the youngest generation always sets the trend of what the future of technology will be. That's most things in society, it goes from the older generation down. But in technology, it always goes from the younger generation up, which is why it's always tougher for the older boomers like you to keep up.
Like you. He's calling you out, guys.
Right? And I think the future isn't live interactive. That's what it's proving.
Yeah.
Because he was streaming for 24 hours a day for 30 days straight, and people would watch it. They just have it on all the time.
Yeah, because...
And you have no idea what he's going to do next. Yeah. So you keep it on for the anticipation of, what if I miss it? What if I miss it live?
I read an article that said that actually the vast majority of people who watch these streams just have it in the background.
Yeah.
They're doing the work. It's like white noise to them,
Just in case something happens.
Exactly.
It's replacing the news of day.
Yeah.
You used to have Fox News in the background. It just runs in the background. You're not really paying attention. Like, bomb. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, and as they say, breaking news, right? Then it's
and then just watch it for like an hour because you want to know everything about that story.
Yep.
For example, the United Healthcare CEO who got assassinated in broad daylight.
Basically, yeah.
Crazy.
Early evening.
I thought it was in the morning.
Or early morning, yeah.
The guy just showed up with his silencer. Bam, bam, bam. Gun jams, doesn't want to go away because got in the shot.
Clears it.
Needs to make sure it's a kill shot. And then disappears into the wind.
Yeah.
I talked to a friend of mine who's a New York City detective.
Oh.
And he said that all the retired police that are armed security, they are just like crazy busy.
Dude, the CEOs are probably picking up the phone now, yeah?
And they are just calling out their price. And everyone's going, okay, we'll pay it.
Yeah. What's your life worth?
Yeah.
The answer is you'll pay.
Because there's a lack of guns in New York City from the good guys.
Yeah.
And if you need armed security, because all of them got to see it live. They all, not live, but they all saw the footage
the replay
of what happened.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, dude.
That could have been me.
Could have been me. It could have been anybody, really.
Yeah.
In the middle of the daytime. Which is... New York City, which is a very walkable city, where CEOs literally just walk the streets.
Yep.
You don't really think about it.
Yep.
They stay away from like the really sketchy areas.
Yeah.
But they walk around from meeting to meeting, maybe a lot of times by themselves.
They gotta get their Starbucks in the morning. They gotta go to their fresh deli in the mid afternoon.
And now New York City is gonna be like these CEOs with armed guards walking around. It's actually really dystopian if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, but the cities are the microcosms of the larger narrative and larger plan for these 15-minute cities, these micro cities, these everything. You're all contained. We had this conversation on a couple podcasts where you and I have both lived in and been to Korea. We've seen these apartment complex areas that are basically little mini worlds, right? You got everything there. You got your food, you got your sanitation, you got your utilities, you got your internet connections. It's all there. You don't need to actually ever leave your apartment compound. And so this is, and so you think about this. What's the easiest way to control people when they're in giant high rises, 50 stories high, right?
And we've seen the 15 people say, 15-minute cities are going to come to the U.S. No, they're already here.
They're already here.
They're called live, work, play.
Yeah. Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, they're
live,
everywhere.
Work, play.
Every single new apartment complex being built is shopping, restaurants, office, and apartments.
Yeah, don't go searching outside the walls now, Matt.
Shared resources,
you might learn
shared plans. You don't own it. Everything's rented. Like, no, that's not going to come here. Or they expect this huge, like, weird dystopian look to it. No, it's already here. And you're living in it.
And you'll be happy.
Of course.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
I mean, they call it luxury apartment.
Now you're living in luxury. Now you moved up, man.
Yeah.
So I think we need to unpack this a little bit because I watched, and you and I talked about this before the show. I watched a little bit of Glenn. I love Glenn Greenwald. I just think he's not always perfect, but he's willing to ask the hard questions.
Can I ask one quick question about that? It doesn't bother you that he reports on America, but he doesn't live in America? He lives in Brazil.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to be. He's had problems with America and an American, the American legal system for this thing that he's done. Remember, he helped Snowden, right? He helped these anti-American, journalists, but which is so crazy because if you're a journalist, it doesn't matter. Your job is to report the truth and what's happening, right? Like it's so fascinating when the news media. Let me just take a moment. It's so fascinating when the news media gets upset about reporters finding out malfeasance and bad business practices and illegal business practices by our government. Like, shouldn't you be like, thank you for finding this out? Thank you for finding out that our government's corrupt? Instead, they're like, no, they should never anyway.
But if I moved to Korea and I lived in Korea and I did political commentary in the United States while living in Korea, you don't think that would seem
No, not at all. Because you're
disingenuous?
No, because you're an American. You're plugged into America. You have.
But you're not if you're not living here.
You're not plugged into it, but you still can. You could still report on America if you don't live there. So let's ask this: are you in a station in life in which you should be able to comment on what's going on in Korea?
I don't know, but we're gonna comment in Korea, so
Yeah. So exactly, bruh. Anyway, Glenn Greenwald showed a report. I'll get to the point that United Healthcare is the biggest offender of denying claims. Essentially, they deny 30% of all their claims, which means if you are insured by United Healthcare, which the CEO, was the CEO of, you're paying money into an insurance plan where you have over a 30% chance of that claim being denied. So I think we have to take that in context of his shooting because, let's be honest, if your mama needs a surgery and a life surgery and they deny your claim, and now not only did your mama not get what she needed and she's in pain, and you also can no longer afford the health care she needs. I mean, desperate times like that can lead men to desperate measures. So I'm not saying that that's the case here. That could be one of a plethora of reasons why this CEO got killed. Who knows what happens in discovery and what's behind his life. But I mean, people are upset. Times are hurting, right? Inflation is hurting everybody. And I think when you have a system where when there's life and death on the line and something doesn't go your way, a couple gunshots is not too hard to conjure up.
I have United Healthcare as my health insurance provider.
Well, so far, have they denied any of your claims?
And I don't think they've denied any claims, but I don't have that many claims. The good thing about United Healthcare is that since it's a big name, every hospital will take it.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
They're in network.
Right? Because if you use a smaller insurance company, you show up, they're like, well, we don't take that. That's the worst.
Take that.
Take that. But we do use them. There's I've spoken to a lot of doctors and I know a lot of doctors, and especially doctors from like smaller cities, smaller areas. They love to file like shit claims, or they will meet with somebody and overfile it just because they know that they can make more. Hey, instead of categorizing like this, if we use this code instead, we can actually get double.
Yeah, I know. The whole healthcare system is so broken.
So the doctors are gaming the system.
Yeah.
The healthcare companies are denying those claims because so many people are gaming it. The system is broken from both sides. It's not just one side. It's both sides.
Yeah.
And even as a patient, you're going, well, like, I don't really want to pay that much. Can we figure out, I actually have another call if that can help. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
How do you stop this then? Because you can blame the health insurance company all you want, which I agree with. They're horrible people. But people are acting as bad, and it ruins it for people that actually have legitimate reasons.
I think. So let's go to the bottom of the argument. Let's go to the bottom of the argument. The very base argument is healthcare a right? I'll just leave it there. Do you think healthcare is a right?
That's a tough one.
I'll give you my answer.
Okay.
No.
Hmm.
Healthcare's not a right. You have a right to life, liberty, and property, and in pursuit of happiness, right? You don't have a right to healthcare. You know what you would have a right to? Taking care of your body, eating good food, exercising every day. That's what you have a right to. You don't have a right. Now let me steal the argument. Why can it not be a right? Because you are demanding someone else's time and life energy. For me to say healthcare is a right, well, who's the people who give you healthcare? Doctors. Healthcare is a right. Doctor, you need to give me healthcare. No, he doesn't. I have no right to his time and his effort and expertise. I should pay for that if I need that. And so where am I going with my argument? I believe healthcare is not a right. Healthcare is an elective service. It's an elective service. Now, have we convoluted it because this elective service is now intertwined with employment and all of that nonsense? I think it should be completely extracted from employment. As an employer myself, I don't want to give my employees health care. You know why? Because I'd rather pay them more and allow them to sort out and be responsible for their health.
The problem being is that if you were to go get healthcare on your own, it is so expensive.
Only if you're under that psyop. My wife and I have healthcare. We don't ever use it. Now you might say, oh, Peter, it's there for emergency. Fair enough. But you know what? If you don't ever use it for years and you have that emergency, you should have saved up enough to be able to take care of that emergency, right? And so I'll tell you, there are many families within my network who are healthy as pie, just like my family, because we eat right, everybody exercises regularly in our family, and we make sure that we get great sleep, and we're not under stress.
There was,
it sounds hardcore, but I think my argument's fair. I would rather pay my employees more money and have them figure it out than have it be governmentally siphoned from me. Because this is the best plan that we could get access to because of the size of our business. Like, there's so many constraints. There's in the constraints on healthcare as an employer who needs to give it out to these startups investments and these things these entities that we've created with humans behind them that have families. Like, it cuts into profits. It cuts into the ability for the operators to do the work. I think if I had it my way and I was President Trump or DOGE, I'd extract healthcare away from the employers. I'd say this is an elective service. You don't have a right to it. Let's create mechanisms in which doctors are adequately and fairly compensated for the work effort they have, and let's create systems that make it easy and accessible if you'd like it.
So I'm going to assume then that you would not be favorable to a universal healthcare.
Okay.
Government healthcare.
I'm in favor of less government. Why am I in favor of less government? I don't think I've ever given you the reason. But let me tell you there's many reasons. But let me give you my bottom dollar reason. Less government means that they require less from me. The larger government is, the larger they require from me economically. I didn't sign up for the Trans Day parade that my taxpayer is going to. I didn't sign up for the bombing of Russia. I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for, all this stuff that's happening, right? Research into the homogeneity of lesbians in underwater basket weaving. Like, this is not important to me.
Tree equity?
Not interested in tree equity.
Are you sure? It's equitable for the trees.
I'm not interested in that. So my bottom dollar is
trees are lives too.
Smaller government requires less force on me. They're forcing my life energy, my work, my time, that I can never recoup. They take it from me so that they can take my money and put it into things that are worthless. So, with that in mind, healthcare, no way universal. They're extracting from me more money to support someone who is irresponsible with their life. You decided to be a fat ass. Why should I pay for your diabetes medicine?
You mentioned DOGE.
I applied. Elon, I would love to help you with Doge.
And I was just in Washington, D.C. for the last 2 days, and I met with 10 senators.
Guys.
Random meetings, short meetings, back to back to back to back.
Pause. Did you hear what my man said? He met with 10 senators.
Yeah.
What does this mean, Matt? This is an oddity. People don't wake up and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to meet with 10 senators today." You know, no one does this. So this seems like it's kind of important, Matt. And I hope I'm building it up.
Well, no. And and it's funny because I told the story earlier today, and they go, "Matt, are you CIA?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, if you are, you could tell me because then we'd make a deal." I'm like, "Well, I'm not."
Bro,
Definitely not.
You got
I got propositioned.
You got offered the hand? You got offered the hand to go behind the veil? And you said no?
No, I'm just saying.
If someone offers the hand to go behind the veil, man, you got to take a peek.
So everyone's talking about Doge. Every meeting is like Doge, Doge, Doge. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Doge is a meme coin.
I know.
It's almost like mocking us.
Oh, yeah.
It's a meme coin of a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's literally created as a joke.
Yeah. We're in the movie.
This is idiocracy.
Took it out we're in the movie Idiocracy.
The people that make decisions based on our lives are walking around going, Doge, 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 Doge. Oh, we like Doge. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. And the guy who's leading Doge plays Diablo full time. He plays video games full time.
The video gamer and his meme coin of a dog that started as a joke that actually has no utility in life. We've named the new government agency that's not a government agency, that's an outside agency that's auditing our government. And everyone's going, Doge, 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 we love Doge.
So?
What the hell is going on here? I'm like, how many times can you say Doge? I think I heard people say Doge like 100 times.
Yeah, because it's now being normalized as a household word.
It's so ridiculous.
This meme coin.
It's the equivalent of someone walking around in 5 years going, hey, honk, 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 honk.
So does art imitate life and culture? Or does culture imitate art? Because if we follow the current trajectory of Idiocracy, didn't that come out in the 90s?
Yeah.
I mean, then clearly art is a projection of where culture will end up.
Yesterday.
We're there.
Yesterday, they did their official DOGE meeting with Senate.
Yeah.
And Vivek and Elon showed up. And Elon brought his son.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing this meeting with all these senators. They're giving their pitch, and his son is sitting there.
Yep, I saw the pictures.
Having your son at that type of meeting is the biggest power play ever.
Oh, yeah. Because you're breaking all social rules and norms.
It says, I am clearly in charge because the only person that could do this right now is a person that has absolute power.
And no shame.
And all the people have to sit there and go, oh yeah, he's funny. It's fucking embarrassing.
It's
humiliating.
Yeah, it's almost like a court jester.
Yeah.
It's like we're all laughing at this guy getting beaten in the middle of the court. Ha ha ha. Weird.
Yeah.
Right, cringy, right?
And no one could say anything about it.
Yeah.
You can't comment on it because it is King Elon and Prince X.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And the first time I saw the photo, I thought he was wearing a T-shirt.
And everyone's going, Doge, 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 Doge. I'm like, dude, we are in trouble.
All you need, like truly, all you need is a $1,500 camera crew to pan that room while they're talking, while he's got his son there. $2,500 of video editing with professional music. You could make that scene look like a scene from Idiocracy and be like, there's no way that's going to happen. And then you'd be like, oh, actually, this was actually just a well-produced Hollywood film crew that is just documenting real life. We literally have a kid in this guy's lap running a company called, or this oversight thing called Doge, which is a meme coin of a cryptocurrency. Like, you couldn't drill down farther and make sense of it. Like you the farther you drill down, the more it doesn't make sense.
It must be so.
This timeline, bro.
How many senators went home that night, and it probably didn't hit them right away because they're like, oh yeah, Elon's here. They get really excited.
Yeah, starstruck.
And they went home at night and they're laying in bed. And they go, huh, that was pretty embarrassing.
Well, I actually thought you were going the other direction. How many of them laid in bed at night and go like this? What the fuck did I just witness? like, why am I even here? Like, that's what I would think, right? I'd be like, wait, was he here with his son, wearing like a t-shirt and talking about
cutting our jobs,
and calling it a meme coin of a Shiba Inu dog from Japan,
and we all clapped.
A dog face coin.
All stood. Attention. Doge.
Yeah, I know. We're there, bro. We've hit peak.
My gosh, dude.
We've hit peak idiocracy. That's what we've done. We've hit peak. And by the way, our president-elect is a game show host.
Oh, I really liked him.
Orange Man good.
I liked him.
He's a good Orange Man good. Like we've established Orange Man good, right? But
he's got his own meme coin.
Yeah, and he went official with it. Like
he's got his own official meme coin, and he's working with the con artist Justin Sun, who's a con artist. Yeah. Anyone in crypto knows this guy's a con artist.
Yes. Yep. He spent $6 million on a banana.
$6 million a banana, invested $30 million into Trump's meme coin in order to become the guy in charge of the project.
Yeah, he's the whale.
It's crazy.
I mean, there is where we are, Matt, is that there are no delineating lines or demarcations of that separate politics from social from anything, right? Because politics has bled into sports, ruined sports. You would agree. Politics have bled into academia, ruined academia, right? Politics bleeding into the social world, ruining social. Right now, like one of the most awkward cringiest things that we witnessed this election cycle were all of these literally, you've jumped the shark, right? These old flame out celebrities all being paid millions of dollars to be like, vote for Kamala, vote for, like, we're there, dude. We're there. We're at peak idiocracy.
There is no more social norm.
Yeah.
There is no more protocol.
Yeah.
There is no more. Everything is now officially in the gray. And our life is run in the gray.
And permissible. That's the degeneracy, is that everything's permissible. We got Donald Trump hanging out with streamers who just, a month ago were sucking the schlong on a street. It's like, bro, like, how would I know? I don't know why I know this.
Yeah, we're get off the dark web. Get off the dark web.
I'm just saying,
stop watching it.
Like, does his team do any research on these streamers he's hanging out with? These are degenerates.
Care. Nobody cares anymore.
It's crazy.
Nothing is considered degenerate.
Same with Kamala.
Nothing is considered off limits. Nothing is considered a scam. If it's possibly done, it's allowed to be done. So there are no more rules in society.
We're literally at the peak of where these highfalutin politicians, celebrities, whatever you want to call them, they walk around with impunity. Meaning, like, we know you were at the Diddy parties. We know you were with Epstein. We know you rubbed shoulders with the Clinton kill list. We know we've seen, and they walk around with impunity. And not only do they walk around with impunity, they go on commercials and tell us how to think. Like, they're just spitting in our faces. It's like, dude, that guy who's a Diddy, child pedo, he's telling me how to vote. Like, mind blown here. And how much did he get paid for that? Come on, dude. We're there, bro. We're there. There's no more rules. There's no more decency. Decency is gone.
Decency is totally gone.
Yeah, no more decency.
Everything is now allowed. Everything is gray. And the only way you can get in trouble is if they want you to be in trouble. This is a society that we're going to live in. Is that literally everything is allowed unless you piss off the wrong person.
Or say the wrong thing.
Correct. There are no more laws in this country, which is crazy.
Oof. Man, is this why you're so hot and bothered today, Matt? Because the underbelly is just too much?
I mean, it's conservatism in this country has officially been lost.
Can I ask you something? I saw a meme that really made me think, and it takes a lot to make me think to actually bring it to my wife, because my wife's usually like, Peter, fuck off. Like, I don't need this. But the meme said, Christianity does not tolerate tolerance. And then I was like, okay, well, I know a little bit about Christianity. So I rolled up this chat with AI about what does the Bible say about tolerance and all this stuff, because this meme really struck me. Long story short, after about 30 minutes with AI and then bringing it up to my wife, Christians shouldn't tolerate tolerance. Tolerance is what tolerance is what is getting our nations into trouble, because we've tolerated ourselves into extinction.
Yes.
Like we everything is permissible. We said that. That's the problem. Everything's permissible now. Everything's tolerated now.
It's this constant acceptance
Yeah.
that we will pander to the other side, be understanding of people that are against what our core beliefs are,
Right.
that we've allowed this to happen. And now that idea of toleration of everything has taken over the country, and there are no more rules.
So my biggest example that I brought up to my wife, which she didn't like, because you can't use your wife as an example. That's just bad. Don't do that in marriage. They witnessed someone when they were in L.A., witnessed someone at the Target and at Barnes & Noble walk in, steal stuff, and walk out. That is an example of Christian tolerance. Now, should my wife intervene? No, that's not a smart idea. But the question that arises to my head is, if I was there, would I? Because I know it's wrong what he's doing. Since we've made everything permissible, he knows he's not going to get anything. He's not even going to go to jail because it's less than, what, $1,000. So they just walk in there, they grab stuff. I think the call, and we have a mutual friend who likes to talk about this on X, and is kind of promoting this now more, is this idea of a call for Christian action in the locale where you are, which means if you see people robbing, citizens arrest. Like, be active in your own salvation. Be active in saving your town. Citizens arrest. Now, could you potentially do a citizen's arrest and end up like this guy up in New York who choked the guy out?
What happened to Daniel Penny? Do we have a verdict yet?
Yeah, that's Daniel Penny. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, do we have a verdict on that? It's been a day or two since the
that's
deliberation?
The fear. The fear is you'll be a good citizen, you'll stand up for what's right, and then you get fucked. So where's the Christian tolerance in that? You know? Are we I truly believe, and the last thing I say about this, I truly believe Christians are going to tolerate themselves into extinction. That's what we're doing. We're allowing everything to be permissible. You can do whatever you want. No, there's no law of the land, right?
Did we get the verdict yet?
No, not yet. Still deadlocked.
Still?
Yep.
That was Tuesday.
As
They
of 2
started
hours
deliberating.
ago.
As of 2 hours ago.
They've been deliberating for 3 days. Which I guess is a positive, because if it was guilty, they would have come back quicker. 3 days is a long time.
I haven't tracked this case closely, but the evidence to me seems pretty clear. He engaged to reduce collateral harm. If the individual is hopped up on drugs and all sorts of amphetamines and stimulants or whatever, could there be the chance that could create a scenario in which he's uncontrollable and Penny needed to step in, number one? And number two, could that also have contributed to his death? Potentially. But to me, the case seems pretty clear. A good man stepped in to reduce greater harm. And now he's getting fried. So
We'll find out.
that's the balance, man.
Free Daniel Penny.
So let me ask you this. If you were in Target and you saw a guy walk in, blatant, clear as day. He's just grabbing stuff. He's grabbing stuff at with such actions. He's like, clearly he's not going to pay for this. He's grabbing him. He's putting it in his pocket. He's gearing up to. Would you stop him?
I am officially a sheep in the matrix. What I would do is I would take out my phone and record it. Like, bro, there's someone stealing at Target, and I would upload it really fast
for the gram.
I mean, what if I go viral? What if my video goes viral first because I uploaded it first? So you have to get your phone out as soon as possible, run ahead, get the video, try to get a good angle.
Get a good
but not
he
too
said,
good.
He said get a good
You can't get too good of an angle because it looks staged. So you have to get like a side angle.
Oh my gosh.
And then you have to give a little shake in it. And I would post that shit so fast, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram, put it on X, maybe even do a clip on YouTube about it. And possibly, the Matrix will reward me. Why would I get involved in stopping crime
when you can get paid?
When I can I can become famous.
If I didn't like you, I'd be very disappointed in you, Matt.
Clicks and views are more important in life than law and order.
Oh, man.
And societal values. Clicks and views.
I mean, we're seeing that with Johnny Somali, right? I mean, he clearly values clicks and views and hearts and thumbs ups greater than potentially spending the rest of his life in jail. I mean, the guy didn't stop, so he kept getting knuckle sandwiches, which as a Korean, like every time I saw videos of him getting punched in the face, I was like,
I gotta go find that guy.
I was like,
I'm gonna go find him.
Okay, man, do you keep doing it?
I'm gonna go find the guy. You know, of all the people aren't aware, we're talking about Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali is a streamer that's been going through Japan and Korea, causing havoc, being really disrespectful to culture and society. And a guy in Korea had enough. And the streamers in Korea start finding him, looking for him, hunting him.
Hilarious.
And one guy is a streamer. He's like former Special Forces.
Korea Special Forces, which is like badass.
He like found the kid and just beat him up. And then later they found him again and beat him up again. They found him and beat him up and he punched him in front of the cops.
The best was he was exiting for like the third time the police station.
And he punched him right in front of the police station.
Like within 10 yards, they're like, he gets out of the police station to the street and then he gets knocked in the face. It's like, bro, you deserve that.
But this guy who beat up Johnny Somali, he went super viral.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. Everyone recognizes his story. Everyone knows like who he is. They're saying that he may go to jail.
Oh, really?
Because he was beating people up.
I mean,
and the amount of people that came out to support him is like nothing.
Really?
People suck, dude. They're like, yeah, get him. Like, it's so worth it. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone watched it. Everyone engaged with it. It's a part of everyone's story. All the YouTubers in America that made millions of views talking about this story and talk with this guy, and this guy gets in trouble and nobody fucking cares.
Bro.
People are the worst.
Bro, can we sit on this for just a second? This is the problem with where we are at peak idiocracy, is that think about the entire narrative of what we just covered. You have this guy, a streamer, who literally is famous and makes money for turning on a camera and acting out in public. That's all he does. He goes to other countries before Japan and Korea. He was disruptive before this, so this is a pattern. He goes to Korea, starts to desecrating, statues and respectful sites, starts messing with people, making a mess, spilling stuff all over, stores and stuff. That is peak degeneracy that people are willing to pay and subscribe and give them tips to watch them. Then you have the audience that is cheering him on, but also denigrating him and saying you're terrible. And then you have the Korean guy who comes in, also streamer, punches him in the face, gets the kicks. Everybody larger. Now there's Johnny Somali, who I can talk about, but now I can also talk about the Korea guy. So even more ballooning of content and commentary on the commentary on the commentary of the original idea. And then now this Korean guy that he's served the world with entertainment, he gets the shaft. You can't win in idiocracy. Everybody loses. But, now listen, this is the end of the story. Everybody loses, but everybody's deeply entertained.
It's worth it.
That's it, guys. The cube is coming. You're going to live in a cube. Every wall is going to be just a flat panel TV. And when you're in that cube, you'll be deeply entertained.
If you have money, you'll have OLED.
Right. And if you have money, you can skip all the porn ads.
If you have enough social credits, you can skip the ads.
Yes, exactly. And you have you get a greater allotment of toothpaste from your carbon credits.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Nice.
Good. It's good living.
But extra fluoride?
Well, they don't want you to be smart, Matt. They want you to be entertained. Come on, man. More fluoride, bro. Smooths the brain out. You want a wrinkly brain, by the way. So whenever I tell my kids I have a wrinkly brain, that's what you want. You want a wrinkly brain. You don't want a smooth brain. Alcohol smooths your brain out. Don't drink lots of alcohol.
I just can't get over how many people around me and people I've met just in passing in random conversation have said over the last week, I'm so excited about DOGE. Every time I hear it, I've been one of those guys. I can't get over it.
We're there. We've hit it. It's almost a travesty because it's funny and it's real.
I mean, if they wanted to be taken seriously, and if it was a serious project, they would have given it a serious name. Why create it a joke?
But a Department of Government Efficiency is like pretty official.
What is DOGE spelled backwards?
EGOD. EGOD. Electronic God?
That's what it is.
Sounds like a Q hit. sounds like a Q bomb.
I didn't write the letters. I didn't make the name. But isn't that interesting? What that translates to? If you flip it upside down, because always they like to flip things upside down.
Symbolism will be their downfall.
Always, you take the sign and you flip it upside down, and that's their meaning.
One of the first things that opened up my eyes to Elon Musk is when he went to that one movie premiere and he was wearing that red armor suit. Do you remember that? With Satan on it?
Yep.
And the pentagram on the back of it? Like, that woke me up. Like, that startled me. Because I always thought he was on the good side. Until I saw that, I was like, man, brother doesn't walk out of his own house haphazardly and choosing a coat of armor that's clearly expensive with this type of symbolism on. Like nobody wakes up and says, eeny, meeny, miny, Diablo. Like, Satan costume. Yeah, we'll do that one today. Like, nobody does this.
Well, so, Elon Musk just started wearing a new necklace.
Oh, I saw that too.
In the new necklace, it is the Omega sign with the all-seeing eye inside of it.
Yep. I saw that too. Yeah.
He woke up and he was
symbolism.
I feel like wearing a necklace now.
Yeah.
Which one should I choose?
Yeah, out of all the millions, right?
Of all the possible options of necklaces. Now that I'm in charge of EGOD, why don't I wear the Omega?
So, Matt, remind us for us uncultured swine, what does Omega actually mean?
Omega is the last letter in the Greek alphabet. It signifies the end.
Oh.
And
what type of end?
The end of end.
The end of days?
I don't know. I'm just saying. A lot of people have interpretations, but it's the end. And in the Bible, people in the Bible, they say, Jesus says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Actually, I don't think that's correct. I think it's I am the Alpha and the Tor, which is the Hebrew last letter. I don't know why they translate the Omega, because it would have been in Greek.
The Catholic Church did that for us.
Correct. And Elon's son's name, and Omega and Alpha and Tav. Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet.
Yep.
Elon's second son, or third son, is named Tav.
Well, with 13 kids, it's kind of hard to keep track.
Well, his three, and none of his kids were actually born like naturally. They're all IVF and surrogacy.
Yeah, I think I remember reading some numbers. He had 3 wives, 6 companies, and 13 kids, or something like that.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's his numbers. Not bad. 3 wives, 6 companies, 13 kids.
But don't worry. Aren't you excited about DOGE? DOGE.
I think you have a personal issue with DOGE. You say it so much. What's the chip on your shoulder about that?
It's really weird.
I think you're just dealing with cognitive dissonance. Like like your brain cannot accept the fact that we're living in idiocracy, and I think
I just refuse to believe that we're living there.
I'm just telling people he's
I'm trying to be hopeful.
He's dealing with cognitive dissonance here. He's
Like
trying what's the word in psychology? He's trying to integrate reality, right, back into his
My
mind.
skepticism is my hopefulness. You know?
So do you almost Matt actually has to exit reality so he can be sane. Because the longer you stay in actual reality, the more you're going to have this type of cognitive dissonance.
At what point do we just say, all right,
Fuck
this
it.
is so far gone?
When's the asteroid coming?
Well, no, it's so far gone.
God, please,
Like,
asteroid now.
The EGOTs are taking over the world, and we are fully into this system of degeneracy and idiocracy, and this is our life now, and there's probably nothing we can do to turn it around.
It's not getting better.
When do we just plug in and be like, oh, fuck it. Let's just join them.
Well, so
Life improves.
I think
Your life is better when you comply.
the steak is good, right?
Yeah.
The steak is good.
Why don't we just eat fake steak?
Yeah, we could go like Cypher and
Dude,
we could eat the fake steak.
Why did I just watch a video on 3D printed steak?
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks just like steak, but they inject it with fat
Yeah.
and protein
Yeah.
so that you get the benefits of steak, but it's 3D printed and it's not real,
Yeah.
but it looks just like it.
Yeah.
Dude,
I saw another version of a different type of meat where like you can peel it like a string cheese. You know how string cheese you can peel it?
they are 3D printing beef.
Yeah, you can. And the beef can be like string cheese. Gross.
It's crazy.
It's goo. You're eating goo. That's what you're eating. You're eating goo.
And you will love it.
You'll be happy.
Of course.
So, but I think there's you have a global audience, and many people are very smart, and they pick up on things. And we glazed over this fact that you were hanging out with 10, 12 senators like so quickly. So I'm gonna do the internet a solid, and I'm gonna bring it back. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm gonna meet with 10 senators. So, Matt, is there anything that you can tell us about this trip where you met essentially with a 12th of the entire Senate?
So we have an episode coming out with Mark Wayne Mullen, who is the senator of Oklahoma. I actually did kind of like him. I think he's a really big family guy, that he comes from a blue collar background. I found him interesting. I think most of the senators are, I don't think they're as evil as we portrayed them to be. I think that because if you take the Senate and you take the House of Representatives, the senators are typically more qualified because it's very expensive to run for Senate. It costs like 5 times more, meaning most of them have had successful businesses and careers in order to become a senator.
Or a wealthy network, yeah.
Correct. Versus a House rep, which anyone off the street can become one. So there's a little bit of difference in how they carry themselves, how they interact with people.
Different class of politician.
They're different people.
Yeah.
So senators are a lot more impressive, whereas the House reps are a little more unimpressive of people.
Yep.
That being said, they do something like 50 meetings per day. Meaning our meeting is maybe 15 or 20 minutes. 50 meetings per day. There is no way that they can be competent at anything if they do 50 meetings per day.
And a lot of those meetings are fundraising meetings.
Correct.
Where they're not actually
Or
doing
they're just
anything.
listening, or someone's taking notes, or whatever.
They're not even doing it. They're raising money.
The system of how the government works is broken.
Oh, so far.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all evil. I just don't think that they understand. And they're so much older that they have no idea how technology works. And the fact that we're moving into a digital future and technology, and they don't even understand. They're still trying to figure out, Matt, what do you think? Should I be on Instagram? This is where we are.
Matthew, what is this Google thing?
They are pondering questions that they should have been considering 10 years ago today. Which is concerning because, as we started in the beginning, technology, currency, artificial intelligence, we'll get more into as the season goes on. These things are changing our lives forever. I mean, the shift in technology over the next 2-3 years, we're going to live in a completely different world. they're still trying to figure out, should we post on Instagram? The separation of what the reality of the world is and what they're actually thinking about.
It's not a wedge. It's a fish. It's like a gulf.
And they're thinking about, and look, God bless their heart. They're like, man,
That's very Southern of him to say.
if we
Bless
could
your
figure
heart.
out how to make like the healthcare system better, that'd be great. If we could figure out how to spend the VA money better, that'd be great. Maybe there is a little inefficiency here. I'm sure there's some programs, there's people we can cut. Yeah, like the DOGE thing will be great. If we can trim maybe a few million here, a few million there, like their intent is actually not the worst. They're just thinking about the wrong things. They're still trying to save the same problems. Like, hey, maybe we should figure out healthcare. They've been thinking about healthcare for 50 years.
No, just gut it, man. Just gut it.
And they're still like, oh, maybe this time around we'll fix it.
No.
Nobody cares.
No. And the budget spending proposals only get larger for more
Your
inefficiency.
legislation is doing nothing because you are constantly playing catch up.
Yeah.
At some point, someone within government needs to get ahead of this thing.
So you've just made an exceptional case for Doge.
Amazing.
Doge.
Doge.
Dude, seriously. You
So
just made
then-
an exceptional case for Doge.
It's true. And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, we need to figure this out. So how about we get a bunch of unelected people and let's just give the entire future of our government and our country to the PayPal mafia, which is literally what we just did.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and David Sachs are literally the PayPal mafia.
Like literally, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
They
Or 3 out of
David
5.
Sachs is now the crypto and AI czar.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Elon Musk
He deserves
is
that, though.
in charge of Doge, and Peter Thiel, proxy through Vivek, is in charge of Doge. The people who founded PayPal are in charge of our government.
But is it better that they are there instead of the men behind the curtain and the women behind the curtain that we don't really know about, otherwise known as BlackRock and its affiliates? Like, lesser of two evils here? Well, one's at least working in the light?
Can they at least say, hey, we've officially taken over the government and we're going to lead it into a new generation.
Oh,
and
that's
this is what we're going to do.
Oh.
Why don't we at least do that? You can't run and make decisions in the shadows and say you're different because you're still making decisions in the shadows. How am I supposed to know that your decision is on my benefit versus yours?
It's not going to be for your benefit, man.
Then it's the same.
Yeah, of course it's the same. So
By the way, if you are a crypto investor, David Sachs is really big and early in Solana. Just saying, I'm pretty sure that's not going away. Most of the meme coins are built on Solana blockchain.
Yeah.
Therefore, the meme coins, they're not going away, everybody.
not financial advice.
You should like the degeneracy of meme coins is like not good for society. It's not going away. The crypto czar loves it.
Yeah.
He financially benefits himself from it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's the biggest criticism of Doge is that they're going to create programs or reduce programs that are going to greatly, incentivize them or economically help them. Fair enough. Like,
All these companies that have huge government contracts,
Yeah, it's all
all
the
of a
same.
sudden they're in charge of the contracts.
like,
This is a good idea.
yeah, same thing, different day. So what you're saying, you met with these senators and you realized that never attribute malice to incompetence.
I don't even think it's incompetence. I just don't think they know.
So they're ill-equipped.
They're ill-equipped.
Okay.
They're ill-equipped because if you, Mark Mullen, Colin, I actually, on a personal level, I liked him. He made his money doing plumbing business.
Okay, very blue collar.
Very honorable.
Yeah.
He is not equipped to handle the changing generation of our technology. Right?
Yeah.
He has no background in it.
Fair enough.
But you can't hire all technologists. You can't elect them. And the reality is most Senator Tuberville, he was a college coach.
Technologists don't want to become senators. Like, that's the thing.
Well, they will run EGOD.
Well, okay, so let's just make something clear. The smartest entrepreneurs and investors are never in politics. Now, this Doge thing has changed the game. Remember, the rules have changed now, right? Remember, everything's permissible now. So clearly we have a game master who's tier 1, rank 1 in the world of Diablo, like improving our government. like some could
And
say,
his son.
yeah, and his son. Some could say his inventory management in Diablo is so exceptionally good that it makes sense that he would be the leader of Doge because satchel management and bag management, item management in Diablo completely converts over to governmental. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that these senators are not only ill-equipped, but they will never have the breadth and depth of effectiveness that is needed from them to make real change. Is that what you're saying? Because they're on these calls all the time. They're not actually doing anything.
No.
They're just kicking the can down the road.
They're just championing one thing at a time. They're falling behind. They don't understand how the world works. They don't understand like what society cares about, because what they do is they look at metrics on what's trending on the internet, what's trending on Twitter. That's what people care about.
So
the problem is Twitter is, we've been there, we started there. It's a very controlled narrative, but that's what they make their decisions on. Mm-hmm. That's where they get public opinion. Twitter, that's what's trending.
It's funny because we've had moments where we've realized that most senators and most politicians truly actually get their information from their matrix, not from the actual people in their community. They look on Twitter, and their matrix feeding them liberal blue-haired sheepdog. They're like, this is what my constituency likes. No, it's just because you keep clicking and engaging with blue-haired sheepdog. Yeah. That's why you think this is the way the world is. So they're just as ignorant as anybody else. But the difference is they have the power to make policy.
Which is scary.
That's scary. So wait. Let's get down to brass tacks. Why did you meet with senators?
Oh, I got invited. There was a small group of people going to talk about content and censorship or speech, or how do you leverage content in order to reach more people. It was this type of group, and they invited me to come along.
Oh, so you were a subject matter expert.
And I walked in, I did these meetings, and I realized very quickly that they're still trying to figure out how to use Instagram.
And so what he's really saying in conversion is we're fucked.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be. I did not leave exuding confidence at all.
Not like this.
And I'm walking around the Senate office.
Not like this.
All the staffers, there's so many people in there.
Yeah, we're overstaffed.
And they're walking around, and they look so miserable.
It's politics. There's nothing fun in that game. Everybody's losing.
So miserable. And I'm like, oh. But they get really excited when they're like, oh, but DOGE is here.
Yeah, those poli-sci degrees are working out. Enjoy that suffering up in D.C.
We didn't even get to Korea.
But okay, so let's do it. Let's segment into the final segment here. Korea went through a 19-hour martial law.
Was it that much? I think it was less.
Okay, I don't know.
8 hours?
I don't always get my numbers right. They went through half a day of a waking day of martial law. So Matt, could this be the crescendo of where America is going with DOGE and efficiency and people losing jobs and people being, are we going to move to a martial law? Well, and if for those who are internet sleuths, you know how many times Matt has said Korea is merely the Peachtree dish of America, where we can run experiments on these poor folks, kind of like Israel does to their own people with vaccines. And we can learn stuff from this small peninsula nation. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I thought at first. And then I started taking all the dots and laying them out.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of dots here.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. I don't know what happened.
You're saying geopolitics is complicated?
But let me lay out the dots, okay? Let me lay out the dots of what happened. So we all woke up, we turned on the phones, and it says martial law in Korea. Yeah. And the president does this announcement declaring martial law. No one saw it coming. It's totally out of the blue. And he says it's because of North Korean aggression. And they've infiltrated the other party. Therefore, we need martial law, is what he said. 8 hours later, the legislators meet. They're like, no, we got to shut this thing down. And then eventually he's like, fine, okay, martial law is over. It was like 8 hours. Koreans, it happened so fast that the Koreans didn't even like protest. They showed you some videos, but it was nothing big.
It was so fast, there was almost no whiplash.
Yeah, almost.
Usually there's like a whiplash where people are like, oh, what happened? But it's like, wait, it almost felt like a nothing burger.
So later, now the news from the conservative side is, well, it actually wasn't. It was an operation because they had been using the electrical voting machines to tamper with the election. And therefore, while martial law was going on, they sent a crew to the election office and they gathered data about the election machines. And that's what they're saying what this whole operation was about. Okay, that's another story.
So it was a ruse.
That's what they say. Which I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, we never know.
But everyone's like, Matt, you got this wrong. Like all the Korean conservatives, like, no, you got this wrong. Korean conservative news says, like, bro. They're telling you it's not the truth.
Eat a dick.
Okay. So the Korean president was not very popular. He's a foreign prosecutor. Some people like him, some people don't like him. He approval ratings like super low.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. What else happened in the news at that same time? It's really interesting. The day that they were announced a martial law, also trending in the news on every single major news outlet in America, was that a Chinese illegal immigrant was caught trying to ship weapons on a container to North Korea. Plastered on every headline. North Korea, North Korea, North Korea. It was like a handful of guns. But they made it sound like he was going to start a war.
Yeah.
You just get North Korea in the news.
Yeah.
Okay. So that happens on the same day that Korea says North Korea is infiltrating South Korea. Okay. Now we're all thinking it's North Korea's fault. The day before all this news, China announces that they're going to ban the export of certain natural minerals that are very much needed for semiconductors and chips. Okay. So now there is a huge global shortage in these materials needed in the United States in order to create all these AI chips that they need to create.
So, but that also affects the Taiwan and Singapore stuff. And
Correct. China says we're not going to export these three materials any longer.
maybe that's how they take over more. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, most people do not know that North Korea is extremely rich in minerals.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They have trillions of dollars
Oh yeah.
of these rare materials that you need in order to build these semiconductor chips. They actually have them in North Korea. They're just unmined.
Well, that's why if you go to a prison camp in North Korea, you're working the mines.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because their equipment is so outdated, and they even if they mined it, they have no one to sell it to because of trade embargoes. They just trickle sell it to China.
I mean, I've even heard news of North Korea selling weapons to Ukraine and stuff. So they have ways to move stuff if they need to.
But you can't move that much in it, and you're not going to get top dollar.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just sitting there.
Fair enough.
South Korea has no minerals or resources at all. They actually can't self-sustain. They have to live off a import society
Yes.
because they can't do it. North Korea can.
Do you know how many American bases are in South Korea?
32,000 troops.
I heard this number. It's crazy. I'm going to get it wrong. So maybe, Will, you could look it up real quick. But I heard something that it's like 30 or 50. Please correct me because I want to be as shocked as I feel like I should be with this number.
It's a lot.
How many military bases are in South Korea?
Says at least 9.
Oof. Still, South Korea is half the size of Florida, 80% of it's mountainous. So you're still talking about 9 military bases in a very small area. Like they're controlled.
30,000 troops.
Which, by the way, I actually saw a news thing that Korea actually doesn't have control of its own military.
I was getting there.
Oh, wow.
So actually, under the I forget the name of the agreement. In Korea, in South Korea, the ROK military, Republic of Korea, the ROK military, in times of peace, are under Korean operational control.
Yes.
In wartime, they report to the U.S. general.
That's right.
If you create martial law and you say it's due to North Korean aggression, the United States general was in charge of Korea for 8 hours.
You can do a lot of stuff in 8 hours.
That's a long time.
You could do a lot of stuff with good teams. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff.
The United States was in charge of Korea for 8 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you look in past history, most operations to install governments happen in half a day, right?
And then,
right, they bring these SWAT teams in, they take out the leader, and then they install another leader. 8 hours later, they're on the news saying, "Yo."
After this whole ordeal ends, and after the United States gives up their control of Korea for that short period of time, they remove the Secretary of Defense. He resigns. all of a sudden, Korea has a new Secretary of Defense. He is the Korean ambassador to Saudi Arabia.
Now it all makes sense.
Trump and Saudi Arabia are like best friends.
Butt buddies.
Best of friends.
Diddy
Literally
buddies.
invest everything into each other. They do everything.
Take that.
The Korean ambassador to Saudi Arabia is now the Secretary of Defense of South Korea.
Bro, you just cracked the nut. That's
Whole
it.
thing.
The whole thing.
Whole thing is CIA up.
100%.
Whole thing is CIA up. That's what I think.
You
They want the minerals. They want control. They want to know what's going on. They want to figure out what the data is about how this operates. They want to see what the reaction would be if we were to force change instead of slowly trickling change.
Yep.
Whole thing was not.
Yeah. Because because American interests needed inside man.
Yep.
And we
got him in.
We got him in.
Yep.
It only took and in the news cycle, no one's talking about it anymore.
No, it's over.
Yeah.
Super quick. Now it's been infiltrated. And some would say, well, isn't that a good thing for the United States? Yeah, maybe.
Well, it's good for people who are in the United States in their interests, but for you and I, like we don't get any benefit from this. So this is really interesting because a video I saw years ago, which is why I was like, oh my gosh, this is coming to me. In that video, they were talking about how South Korea, I can't believe I didn't make this connection earlier, but South Korea is essentially like a Puerto Rico. It's like brass tacks owned by America because America military power is where that's where we can put squeezes on people, right? And frankly, how you get provisions, how you get support is generally through military access lines and logistics systems, right? And so you want to get American support, we got to put multiple bases in your country. That's how we're going to support you militarily and through economic trade and supply chain lines.
A lot of people don't know that the reason why there's two Koreas is because the United States and USSR, Soviet Union, created two Koreas.
Yeah, they split them up.
It was one country.
Yeah.
After World War II, they said, well, what do we do with this country? We got to figure it out. And I don't know why no one thought, well, maybe we just let Korea become Korea again.
Yeah.
Instead, they had a meeting with no Koreans in the room.
Yep.
And they said, let's just split the country in two.
Yeah.
You get half, we get half.
Yep.
And we'll figure it out once we divvy it up.
Yep.
And they create this 30th parallel that goes through the middle of Korea. And most borders, international borders, have some sort of natural border. A river, a mountain range, an ocean. Something is there to create a border. They literally took an open field and they said, here's a border.
Yep.
And they just drew a line in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, some people living on one side of that imaginary line are now South Korean. And some people living on the other side of the imaginary line are North Korean.
A complete tragedy of human life. I mean, some would say, and I think rightfully so, that South Korea is in most recent history, essentially the last bastion of American imperialism. Like we literally took over this land. We hung out with the Soviet guys and we're like, the Koreans are incapable. We're just going to take this half. You take that half. We're going to install our military bases. We'll give them sovereignty as South Korea, but we pretty much run the game here. And the history books never talk about that. They never talk about the American industry interests that created that parallel. And if we dig down to the brass knuckle of what it is, South Korea is essentially a nation state owned by America. Like it sounds really sad, but it technically is true.
When they split the country, they had a deal. They said, we're going to have a vote. We're going to let the people choose their leader. And there were actually three people that were very popular in Korea. One was a guy named Kim Koo, which no one ever talks about. People that understand Korean history know him, no one else knows about him. He was really popular in Korea. He was for a unification of Korea, and he was very adamantly against U.S. and Soviet interest into the country.
Makes sense. Sounds like Korea first mentality.
He was a Korea first guy.
That would be called racist.
Another guy was Syngmin Rhee, which was studied at Harvard, studied at Princeton, was known to Roosevelt.
Oh, so he had the right political connections.
He was that guy. And the other one is Kim Il-sung, which ended up being the family of Kim, whatever.
Yep.
They were going to do a vote. Kim Gu, because he was so anti all other countries, actually wasn't the most popular.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very popular. Kim Il-sung was the most popular. He was going to get about 70% of the vote because he was known as a guy that used to go to Japanese encampments and just kill them.
Yeah, just murder them in cold blood.
He was really popular.
Yeah.
And the communist type of agenda had crept really far into Korea, and they wanted to be communist.
Yeah.
It was their choice. Once the United States found out that their guy, Syngman Rhee, was not going to win an election, they said, nope, he's president now. And he became president.
Yep. That's what happens when you have such imperialist power, economic power, military power. Oh, and by the way, the Korean Peninsula land was completely ravaged and destroyed, so it's easy to conquer a nation when they have no infrastructure anymore. So tough times. But
and Kim Il-sung became the leader of the North.
North, yeah.
They split the country in half, and Kim Koo, who was the other guy that was against any imperialist coming into the country, in 1949, that election happened. Syngman Rhee became president in 1948. 1949, the United States CIA assassinated him.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they admitted to that, I think like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he was no longer useful to the cause.
No, they assassinated Kim Gu, the guy that wanted to unify the country.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You know your history better than I.
So, really interesting. There's a guy that I just started following that's been going through all the old Korean and U.S. documents.
Is this the king?
No, another guy. Another guy that's been just going through all these historical documents, translating them, reading them in English and Korean, finding he'll find a Korean document in a treaty and find, okay, what were the conversations about Korea like in the United States at the time, and cross-referencing everything and putting together like a real history.
Nice. Is it sketch?
It's interesting.
Once you follow the money and follow the, yeah. Come on, man. Like we live in a world today where the lands and countries have been established enough, and we have modernized society enough where you can't just be rolling in with tanks, But don't be deceived. Rolling in with tanks was only less than 100 years ago. Less than 100 years ago, 2 generations, countries would roll into other countries with tanks and be like, yo, all your base belong to us now, right? We own you now. So, but like we're not that far off from less than 100 years of rolling into tanks and taking over countries. So for us to be doing that now, or other nation states and other countries to be doing that now in secret, or politically or economically with sanctions and all sorts of trade deals and all, like to take over other countries now is just changed. We're not rolling in with tanks. We're using human bioweapons.
Before the tanks is the psychological.
Yeah.
You prep the population for the takeover.
Yes.
They roll out things like Doge. They prep you for it. You're ready for it. People actually want it. And once it's primed, the population is ready for some sort of usurping change, then the tanks come. You don't start in the beginning. You don't force in the beginning. You always prep them psychologically first.
It's kind of like the boiling frog. You let them boil themselves till it's too late.
See you next week in the Frog Boil.
Oh.